Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 29th of January 2019. Time is 11 AM here in the UK. You're looking at a USDJPY daily chart. We're going to switch to an AUDJPY daily chart. Start from the top of the list. So in today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups. We're going to be looking for setups across all these pairs. And the setups we're going to be looking for, reversals, continuations, all kinds of price action setups. Now, I deleted all my flags yesterday or the day before when I made a YouTube video on on trading view tips. So I kind of forgot to back them up before I deleted them. So I can't remember what pairs we were tracking last week. It's kind of annoying. There was an open trade on something that I shot back up. Was it AUDJPY? Because I closed it out. I can't remember what it was. It was an AUD thing. I don't have my trading diary handy at the moment. All right, AUDJPY, cool. Yeah, so AUDJPY, that shot back up towards it. Now, I got out before it shot back up. I kind of got lucky. As I posted to the forum, I was going out Friday evening. Well, very early actually late afternoon. So I got out kind of early. So I ended up getting out before it shot up, luckily. I think it shot up because of the Trump speech. Would that be right? But anyway, I said that I was going to be getting out of this position because I didn't want to hold over the weekend. My issue with holding over the weekend for this one is it was just way too close to the stop loss. And as always, when price is too close to the stop loss, I don't like holding over the weekend because if it gaps up, I could lose more than I intend to lose because my stop is not going to be triggered over the weekend. So yeah, I closed this one out. I got kind of lucky because it was before it shot up. Some of you closed out after it shot up. Some of you kept it open. It all just depends on your situation, on your trading plan, I guess, how you've dealt with this trade. But it still looks like it has potential. I mean, it was a slow mover and it was moving really, really slow. But it's still finding resistance at this resistance area, as you would expect. And it looks like it wants to head down. It did retrace a bit because of that speech about the government shutdown. I believe that was the reason. I'm not 100%. It did retrace a bit, but now it's just headed back down. So if you're still holding on to this position, if you're being persistent and still holding on, then I would just keep track of it. Just leave it open. Right, so let's look for some new trades. AUD CAD right now is in between support resistance, so there's nothing much going on here. There's some small time frame setups happening here for the members only trade setups that we trade, so we can discuss those in the forum. I did a webinar on Thursday, AUD New Zealand. Now, I've been looking at this one over the weekend. I was hoping that it would stall out on this area, but it seems to be moving down. That's not really that bad of a sign, though. It could still stall out here. Just because it's dropping down a little bit now, it doesn't mean that it's going to continue down. So I'm going to keep a close eye on AUD New Zealand. What I'm looking for with this pair is pretty much price to stall out on this support area. So if price stalls out on the support area, like it was doing for the last two candles, but if it continues to do so, I'll be looking for a long trade. But yeah, right now it's a bit, it looks like it wants to head down. So it's highly likely that this is not going to turn into a trade setup. I'm just looking for a potential. So when I say I'm looking for a potential setup, most of you who are here live know this, but for those of you who are new and for those of you who are watching my analysis on YouTube and don't know much about my trading style, when I say I'm looking for a potential, it doesn't mean I think this is going to reverse and go up. It means I am waiting for a sign, a price action sign or price action to tell me that it's going to move up. It means that this is a potential spot in which I am looking for a reversal, but I am not saying that a reversal is coming. So if price stalls, we're going to look for a reversal here. Unlikely that anything's going to happen, anything definitive is going to happen until tomorrow. So we'll come back to this in tomorrow's analysis. Although if you do look at the 12-hour, you know, something can happen on the 12-hour, but because price is moving sideways so much on the 12-hour, I'd rather see a nice daily candle signal, not something that's going on down here on the smaller time frames. All right, AUDUSD. AUDUSD has pushed up to resistance and is pulling away. But, you know, right now where it's sitting, there's nothing really that I would want to trade there. Euro AUD, in between support resistance, nothing much going on there. Euro CAD, it's just stuck on this support area. There's nothing much there. EURGBP, now this one is kind of interesting. So EURGBP is headed towards some pretty big lows. Just going to add an area in there. So this low is the 13th of 16th, whatever, mid-April 2018 low. Now, it's a pretty significant low because it's the lowest point it reached since around about mid-June. Mid-June 2017. And, well, technically May. So anyway, point is, this is a very significant low, guys. Price is heading back towards that low. Well, potentially heading back towards that low. Once it hit that low, it backed away, as you would expect. You can see that probably a bit easier to see what I'm talking about on the 12-hour. So see, this is back in April 2018. Price hit this low, it just couldn't get lower. Cool. Now, January 2019, this month, price hit that low and it couldn't get any lower and it pulled back up. Now, what we're looking at here is essentially what could become a possible continuation trade. So what is a continuation trade in this case? Well, if you look over here, actually, there you have a continuation. So here is a continuation that happened, you know, sometime last week or week before. It might be clearer on the 12-hour, maybe the 8-hour. On the 8-hour, this is kind of clear. Price is trending down, pulls back up to resistance, and then continues going down. So we're seeing a very similar thing happening here. Price has dropped down to a strong support area, a very strong support area, a yearly low. More significant than yeah, almost wait. Sorry, I'm a bit slow today, it seems. Right, so yeah, it's over a yearly low. It's you know, a year and almost 2 years, let's say. Not quite 2 years, but almost 2 years. So it's a very significant low. So when price hits that low, you would expect this sort of reaction. You would expect it to hit it and then pull back up. So that's pretty normal. That's to be expected. Now, also what's to be expected is for price to stall on the support area it just broke, which is what it's doing now. So what I'm looking for here is price to drop down from this resistance area. So I'm looking for indecision to form on this resistance area for a potential continuation. Now, if I'm trading a continuation from here, my initial target would definitely be at the support area where it's already stalled out, but I would definitely want to look to extend that target because as with any continuation, you want to try follow it down. So I would look to extend that target. So this is a pretty good potential, guys. It took me a while to explain this because I wanted to explain it step by step, but now that it is explained, this is a pretty good opportunity so far. Looks like it's a fast mover, the downtrend, so I probably would not wait for the daily because we might miss it if we wait for the daily. I'm going to keep an eye on this on the 12-hour. I'll also keep an eye on it on the daily, of course, but if the opportunity arises to enter on the 12-hour, I might just do that. So looking for indecision, let's say this 12-hour candle here, if it stalls out, the next one starts moving down. So I'd be looking at the next 12-hour candle essentially. Good potential, so see what the risk reward would like at the minimums. Yeah, decent-ish risk reward by the next support area. Not perfect, but acceptable. But it is a continuation, so it's definitely not as bad because the trend is down. So yeah, let's look for a short here, guys. All right, next, we got EURGBP headed up to resistance, but nothing really happening there that's interesting, nor on Euro New Zealand. EURUSD, as expected, it's shooting back up. What do I mean as expected? Basically, EURUSD has been in a pretty narrow, or kind of narrow, medium range for a while now. So what is the range? The range is in between these 2 points here. Now, I did break out of that range temporarily, but that's pretty normal. Price does break out of ranges and then fall straight back in. Think of ranges as a bit of a vacuum. So when price breaks out, it gets sucked back in, and then it gets stuck on the range. So yeah, price is in a pretty tight range, or it's not exactly tight, but it's a range here on EURUSD. So as expected, it stalled down at the bottom of that range and shot back up. No big surprise there. I don't have a support resistance area placed there. That doesn't mean that one should technically not be there. Oh, God damn it. Why did I do that? Yeah. All right, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this area here. It doesn't matter if the area is placed or not, but just so you guys can visualize what I'm talking about, I'm going to place the area. So we have a range here, and price is at the top of that range, and it could give us a potential short on EURUSD. Now, there are a lot of dangers with this trade. This range has been not clean at all. What do I mean when I say not clean? I mean, just look at how price has been moving through that range. So if you were to go short here and it does a repeat of what it's been doing recently, you could be in this trade for like 2 weeks while it just goes like that to make not very much profit by the end of it, if it even hits target. So while this is a decent potential, it does have a lot of risks because this is just a very messy area. So let's keep an eye on EURUSD for a potential short trade. But what I would want to see essentially is price stalling out on this resistance area here. So if this indecision, if price closes like this, I'd be looking for a short from this resistance area. So something like this, but not, it's always hard to tell what your entry and target's going to be unless the candle's closed. But obviously, the wider you can get your entry and target, the safer the trade becomes. And you can get pretty decent here. Something like that would be how I would probably treat this. So that's entry at around about 11412, stop loss 11463, target 11310. But obviously that's based on what the candle looks like right now, and this candle's got a good amount of time until it closes. So everything could change by the time it closes. We'll revisit this tomorrow, but yeah, there's a potential short here. GBP/JPY, there's a few people short on this one. I'm not a huge fan of this one to be, no, sorry, GBP/AUD. I'm looking at the wrong thing. GBP/JPY is next. GBP/AUD, I don't think anyone's short on this one, actually. It's just moving sideways, isn't it? There's nothing much going on here, nothing I would want to trade. I mean, if you look at it, you'll see indecision there, and you'll say, oh, why don't trade that indecision? But it is a huge indecision candle, so our risk to reward ratio would be pretty bad by the time it hits that support area, and that's with a minimum target and stop. If you want a bit of a safer one, it just gets worse and worse. So I'm not going to do anything there, guys. Plus, GBP is trending up. Trading against the trend, you know, is not something that I'm against. But trading against the trend and having these huge targets that you would need on this trade because of our entry and stop due to the size of the indecision candle, you know, that's not the best decision. So trading against the trend when your target is nice and tight, fine, because that's how trends work. Trends pull back. But trading against the trend when your target's all the way down here, expecting it to pull back that much, that's a bit more of a risk. So I'm not going to do anything with GBP/AUD. GBP/JPY, this is the one that some people are short on. I'm not a big fan of this. Just personally, I'm not a big fan of it. But I explained why on the forum, so I'm not going to go over it again. That's just my opinion and how I feel about it. I am a cautious trader, so it's just my caution, really. GBP New Zealand, nothing much going on there. Nothing I'm too bothered with trading. GBP USD pushed up to resistance. It's kind of stalled out on resistance, but it's a fair way below it. So there's nothing that stands out to me at the moment there. Also, guys, keep in mind that I've left the calendar until the end for today's webinar for a reason. But keep in mind that we might have some slow price action for the first few days of this week. New Zealand JPY stalling out on resistance. Potential short here. I'm not going to trade this, but I'm just pointing it out for you guys who might want to. New Zealand USD. Now this one looks slightly more interesting. Price stalling out, but the risk to reward ratio just wouldn't suit me on this one because of the huge wick. So I'm not going to do anything there. USD CAD. I shared this trade at the end of last week. I think in last Thursday's analysis. I shared this potential short. A bunch of you entered it, and a bunch of you hit profit. Nice work, guys. This one, again, I believe dropped down this fast because of Trump's speech. You know, that's with AUDJPY, you had some bad luck because it turned it around because of Trump's speech. With USD CAD, if you were in this position too, you had some good luck. And that's just how trading is, really. Sometimes there's going to be news events that push trades in your direction. Sometimes they're going to push trades against you. This one went in your direction if you were in it. But right now there's nothing happening there. So USD CHF, same deal. USD JPY, same deal. We do have a lot of lower time frame setups happening for the new members only setups. So I'll discuss those in the forum with you guys. Right, let's take a quick look at the news. I wanted to show you guys the news for this week. So this week's sort of busy, and obviously the end of the week is very busy. But on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, we have the FOMC rate statement. Federal fund rates, blah, blah, blah. So this is important. This could have a big impact on price. So do watch out around those times. But most important of all is the non-farm employment change, also known as NFP. Non-farm payrolls is what it used to be called. Now, the non-farm payrolls / employment change is pretty much the biggest and most impactful report in the Forex market. It has a huge impact on price. Less and less so over the last 15 years. It's just gotten less and less impactful, but it still can cause pretty big price moves. You'll find that on NFP weeks, this week being an NFP week because it's coming this Friday, you don't get as much volatility throughout the week until the Friday. Seems like traders are just kind of waiting for Friday. So it's very possible that we won't get that much volatility this week. We won't get that much movement until the NFP. But that being said, the federal fund rate is kind of a big mover to the FOMC statement. This can cause quite a move too. So we might see some movement throughout the week. We'll just see how it goes, really. Anyway, guys, are there any questions, or shall we wrap up this analysis? All right, guys, it doesn't look like there's any questions, so I will, in fact, wrap up this analysis. Thank you for attending. We'll discuss the lower time frame setups on the forum. For higher time frame setups, this is what we have. AUD New Zealand waiting for price to stall if it ever does. EURGBP, nice strong potential continuation. EURUSD, potential short within this range, but it is a bit risky because price tends to not move nicely or cleanly through this range. And New Zealand JPY, I just marked this for people who want to trade it. I'm not that bothered with this. So yeah, I'll see you guys for tomorrow's analysis. Tomorrow's analysis is members only, so it won't be posted publicly to YouTube. Thursday's analysis is going to be public analysis, so members, I'll see you tomorrow and on the forum, and everyone else, I'll see you on Thursday.